Hello, so today I will be presenting the assignment for the Unplug Challenge. We had to pick specific technologies that affected our lives or that we used on a constant basis. So the technology that I chose was Snapchat, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, which are apps that I normally go on a daily basis to check on my friends or just to see what people are doing and like updating them on things that I do as well. That's the reason why I picked them because I figured those were the ones that were gonna change or like I was gonna be able to grow from, I guess, from this project. So the time limits that I put for the project were 2 weeks, which was, I guess it's not a big time basis, but for me it was, just because when you're used to doing something on a daily basis, it kind of becomes a habit, which was what the apps were doing to me. Like it was becoming like a bad habit, I guess, to keep looking at them and being distracted. And the reason why I guess I chose the 2 weeks was because I kind of did it in a time frame where I needed to study for exams, which I thought would benefit me, because if I wasn't constantly looking at the apps, it would kind of help me concentrate more. And at the same time, I was kind of getting, not upset, but I guess you could say I was getting frustrated about the fact that I had to be in school and studying while everyone else was on spring break having a fun time. So I figured, like, if you don't see it, it won't bother you. So the less I saw them having fun, the less I saw the apps, the better it was for me. For the negativity, for the negative aspects of those apps and the way people, I guess, it makes them perceive themselves, I would say that, I guess, when you're on a constantly in the microscope, because that's what it is, Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook, you're constantly trying to like update on people's lives and update them on your own life. It could kind of put you in a microscope setting and kind of make you think, like, I guess it could have negative effects like on self-esteem and stuff, which is issues that we talked about in class, like seeing people like on the Instagram with the fitness people, or like the people that do their makeup really well, and then just having like this image that their life is perfect, when in reality it's just like a kind of like, I guess, a picture that they portray to make it seem as their life is perfect. And I'm going off of my chart. I reacted to the way I reacted to it. At first, it was kind of easy. Not easy, but at first it kind of came like, oh, it's only going to be 2 weeks. So it wasn't that much of a big deal. And I guess also because I was busy with school, it didn't come as a big deal to the fact that I wasn't looking at the apps. But then in the middle of the weeks, I kind of wanted to know what my friends were doing, or my friends would ask me, like, why didn't you open my Snapchat, or did you see this? And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not looking at my apps. So I guess in that way, I kind of felt like I was missing out. So there was like this new term that people use, which is called FOMO, which is fear of missing out, which I guess that's what I was having, major FOMO. But the reason why I picked the 2 weeks also is because I wanted to see if I could find different activities that I wanted to do, and see, like, with that extra time that I was spending on the apps, what I could do with that time, pretty much. And I think the main reason too was to find like things that I could do on my own and be more in tune with myself, rather than thinking like, oh, let me do this and maybe like take a picture of it for like the Instagram or whatever. And I also wanted to get out of my comfort zone and not rely on those apps, and maybe call my friends up a little bit more if I needed to, instead of relying on Snapchat and Instagram to communicate. And I think one of the biggest things too that I wrote down that actually benefited me was being more present at the moment. So instead of like taking a picture of my food, I actually enjoyed my food, or being with my friends, instead of like, oh, let's take a picture of this for we could post. It was more like, let me just enjoy this time with my friends, instead of trying to find things that were cool in a sense. Overall, I really like this project, and I actually did it for those 2 weeks, and I actually completed the 2 weeks, but I did it again for like another 2 weeks, and it kind of helped just to like get in tune and kind of like space out from the world and kind of group myself together. So I really like this project, and I think it would be something that I would recommend to people. And one thing I really liked was the fact that I picked applications and things that I actually used, which kind of benefited me. And yeah. I really took a lot from the project, and it just showed me that you don't always have to rely on social media, like seeing people have this perspective that they have their perfect life, because it's not always like that. Like, so just focus on yourself and not worry about those things as much, and be present in the moment. Because social media, although it could have a lot of positive effects, it also could have a lot of negative. And I also learned like some of the positive effects, like you could use your Instagram or your Snapchat, like for more positive effects. So like, I don't know, like putting stuff, positive affirmations and stuff like that. So I really like saw the positive and negative sides of the project. I mean, of the whole picture of the project of getting away from the apps. So thank you for listening to my video, and yeah, thanks for making this project.